This is Jeff with Northern Tail Sharpening. We're going to demonstrate how to change a lever in an Oster Volt or a Heiniger Saphir. It's the same clipper. First off, you take all 6 screws out, and there's a screw back here in the battery compartment. You take that out. I got them all sitting here. And you take the hinge off, because you're not going to get this lever out with the hinge on. This is something you can do yourself. It's not a big deal. Now the screws, you can either use a flathead or you can use a number 9 Torx. That fits right in there. It's pretty solid, but you can use a flathead. All right. This is the inside. Look for hair. We want to get all the hair out of this thing. Here you can see the motor it's a Saphir motor inside this Volt because it's made by Saphir. It's made by Heiniger. This is your the top of your switch right here. Usually there's stuff on here, so just wipe it off. Here's your switch that goes back and forth, turns it on and off. These little contacts work back and forth on here, and they can cause some residue being on there. Okay, starting out, we'll take the front flap off. This keeps hair from getting in the clipper. If it's not there, you're going to find hair all through this clipper and underneath this sprocket gear. So we'll take that off and set it right here. Next, you get your flathead screwdriver and pry up under this lever and bring it out. It'll just pop right on off of there. You can save this piece of foam, because we're going to put it on the new one and stick it back in there. How to tell if these levers are bad. This one here is not so bad, but the customer wanted me to change the lever while I had it apart. I changed the switch in it earlier. You can see it's a little bit rounded on both sides there. I've seen these really rounded, almost completely round. And they usually last about 6 months, 7 months. And here's a new one. See, it's pretty square. So that's how you tell. Also, while we're in here, I want to take this sprocket gear out, because it's hard to grease this while it's still in there, because it's upside down. All the gears are upside down in this. So this is a little locking pin here. We'll just stick the corner of a small screwdriver in there and pull it out like that. We'll set it down right there. On top of that, there's a little washer. We'll take that off too. But I'll take the washer off after I pull it out. It's easier for me. Okay, if there's any hair in here, you want to get it out. Either pick it out, brush it out, or blow it out with your HV. I want to grease this shaft, because if we don't lubricate the shaft and this gear right here, the sprocket gear, this thing might get hot once you start it up with the new lever on it. So it doesn't take much grease, just a couple places, because it'll work its way around. And I put a tad of grease right there. Or if you don't like grease, you can use oil. Turn it over, stick it back down on the shaft. I usually turn it like that to make sure that that sprocket off the motor has got some grease in it, and the grease that I did put on there gets on every tooth that's on that bottom of that sprocket gear. Then we'll put the washer back on and the lock back on. It's a lot of work to do this. You could probably get by with just changing the lever out, but I want to make sure that this thing is not going to overheat. And it will get hot. I have an Oster Volt, changed the lever in it, didn't do this, and it got hot on me. All it takes is to press that back in there if I can get it. There, snaps in. Okay, the new lever. We're going to put just a little bit of grease in this. We don't have to over grease it. That's all it takes right there. And I put a little grease in this. Put your foam back on. The foam fits right in here. It just keeps the lever from knocking around in here, and it keeps hair from getting past that into the clipper. I want to make sure I got it in that slot. Kind of put it in the slot first, and then try to push the lever down. There. Sometimes this can be a booger getting it on there, but there, it snaps into place. Put the flap back on, clean it if you have to. Now I'm going to do something that you're probably not going to do. I'm just going to set the top back on and make sure this thing runs before I put the hinge back on. Runs really nice, runs like a sewing machine, doesn't it? That's it. Once you've greased it all, you've got it all together, put the hinge back on, put the screws back in it, and you're ready to go. This is Jeff with Northern Tail Sharpening.